Today I'm continuing part of my ruler work series on the Regent, and today I'm featuring a really cool ruler. It's an Angela Walters ruler, and I'm going to go ahead and swap my camera view, and I will take questions. I will do a Q&A after my demo is over with. So I'm going to swap my camera and get over there to that Regent. There we go. Okay. So what I'm working on today is I'm using this ruler right here. This is designed by Angela Walters. If you don't know who that is, I highly recommend go to YouTube and type in Angela Walters. She's the one that did all of the Midnight Quilter episodes. Totally cool person. Love her stuff, and she has a lot of great videos as well. But this is the ruler I'm featuring today. It's called Taj, T-A-J. And this line of rulers that Angela designed, they're wonderful because they will really fit your hands well. And they come on the back of them, there's this etched in, it feels like sandpaper on almost, and it really grips. See how that does that? And I'm not pressing down hard, but it really grips your quilt so that when you're quilting, you have less chance of slippage. She also designed these not only for a long arm, but for your set down domestic machines to do ruler work on as well. So I'm back to my sample quilt here. And what I'm going to do, I have it set for 12 stitches to the inch, and I'm going to use the point of Taj right here to put some little curved chevrons going right up these strips of fabric. So I'm going to do this pink one over here first, and I'm going to start it at the bottom. So what I'm going to do first, of course, I am going to pull up, go to the corner, and I'm going to do a needle up and down to pull up my bobbin thread. Okay. And yes, last week I did not have my ruler foot on, but I do today. And it's very important that you have the proper foot on to do ruler work with, or you can actually damage your machine. That applies not only to a long arm, but also to your domestic machine. So I'm just going to follow this up. I'm going to take my time because coming around a sharp point can be a little tricky. Stop right at that seam line, and then I'm going to travel over to the next seam line and come back up, and I'm using the top of this little curve right here to line it up to the point of my previous line of stitching. I need to go up just a little bit more. There we go, about right there. Okay, now I'll climb up, reposition. Okay, and we'll go up, up a little more, and reposition. And that's what it is with ruler work. You're just moving along. And when you get to a point, you want to pause for a moment and just let the needle go up and down in place. That's what will give you a nice sharp point when you're doing free motion or ruler work with whatever machine you happen to be quilting on. So I've already stitched in the ditch over all of this. And one thing I have found over time is it's really super cool and easy to stitch in the ditch using rulers. But after you really get the knack of it, how to control your machine, you can actually stitch in the ditch by just slowly moving along. And coming over this way. Okay. And then I'm going to come back down. That really makes it, the Regent really makes it easy because it has dual built-in stitch regulators. You can totally put this in manual mode and not even worry about it. So what I'm going to do, I'm now going to do this quilting with this, but I'm going to change it. And there's a center line right here. And I'm going to use that as a guide to put on. I'm going to put that on my seam line. Okay? There we go. Okay, there's that one. Now I'm going to come down about a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to line it up again right here, the mark on the ruler. And I'm going to go up this time. And then I will come down about a 1/4 inch. And what I'm doing, I'm just coming down. I'm using the actual ruler work foot because it's a 1/4 inch ruler work foot. And what that means is if you come down and let your previous line of stitching touch the back of that ruler work foot, when you go and make the next run, your stitching will basically be a 1/4 inch away from your previous line. As you can see, it's very relaxing to do. You can just sit here, have some music going on, and literally just have fun for hours and hours and hours. And also, that means you also get to able to finish your quilt. Or at least get another section of it done. And now we'll go back up. And come down. Position the ruler. Come down again. And whenever you get a new ruler to play with, oh, I so recommend you practice and practice and practice, because you don't want to start out with a new ruler on a quilt that you have spent hours piecing, because there's always some little nuance to a new ruler for you to get used to it. You know what I'm saying here. I'm just going to finish filling it in free motion style. So you can think of this almost like doodling on fabric as well. That turned out quite nice. I like how that looks. And they're not all exactly the same spacing. And I really prefer it that way because it looks, if it was all evenly spaced, it would look like you'd done it with a computer. And I love computerized quilting, but that's not what this is about. So I don't like when I'm doing free motion and ruler work. It's okay if it's not geometrically perfect, because when you're doing something, and this, I consider this handwork, okay? Because your hands are actually guiding the fabric and the rulers. And when someone looks at one of my quilts I've done like this, I want them to know I've taken a lot of time, a lot of time and energy to move this quilt under a needle to get my quilting designs. So this time I'm going to use the same ruler, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. And this time, let me think here, how do I want to do this? I'm going to use the inside of this ruler, so I'm going to go needle up, there we go. And to get that around there, I'm going to put this through my needle. Is this how this will work? No. Oh, I know. I'm going to have to lift up my foot, slide it under there, and then put it back down. Now I can use the inside of that ruler and use the shapes on that one as well. So this time I'm actually going to travel over to the center of this strip. We'll see, needle down, there we go. And I'm actually just, it looks like it'll come right to the edge, because remember, the needle is a 1/4 inch away from whatever is resting against the foot. So it looks like if I hold it like this, you would actually think, oh, it's going to go over into the adjoining strip. Oh, I don't think it will. And if it does, it's okay, but we're going to do this. And travel back up. And I'm going to travel back down again because I slipped right there. Oopsie. When I get down to this point, I'm going to stop, because here I'm now just going to move the ruler down and do another run. I'm holding it down with my fingers pretty good so it doesn't slip. Okay, and now I'm going to move it down again and I'll get one more out of it. It might overlap this white part just a little bit, but you know what? It's all good. And there we go. Now I'm going to travel back down to here. Right to that seam line. I'm going to come over here to this one. Okay. And I am going to put these in the opposite direction. meaning I'm going to have the points going up where these points went down. Those almost look like arrowheads a little bit, or an elongated teardrop. So this is pretty cool. But this time, I come there and stop and put it up to here. Just work up one side of it. And then come back down. And then move it down and do the opposite sides that I skipped earlier. Okay. I'm going to remove this foot. I'm going to raise my needle. There we go. Pretty cool. And there's just a bazillion and one things you can do with these. These come with a card, or they are attached to a card and with little silicone dots. And on that card it shows different patterns you can make. And especially with the Angela Walter rulers, there's also these really cool videos that she has to show you how to use them. So they're totally cool, tons of fun to play with. And that's all there is on that one for this little demo. Now next week I will pull out yet another different ruler. These are one of my favorites. Last week I was using baby lock rulers. I love those. And every ruler company has different rulers, so it's just like anything else in sewing, be it thread, machines, or whatever. You can buy as many different ones of these as your heart desires, because there's a bazillion of them. And that's one of the cool things about sewing. So, pretty cool ruler. Fits wonderfully in the palm of your hand. If you are on your domestic sewing machine, check it out. You can get your whole hand over that to really, really do that right. Now I am going to cut my thread. So I'm going to pull it out to the side. I'm going to grab that top thread, come right back to where I was, needle down, needle up. And then when I pull it up again and hold onto this thread, it'll pull that bobbin thread up, and then I can cut it. Oh gosh, my scissors move around like little bunny rabbits. There we go. And what you do is then you pull up all of those threads, including the bobbin thread, and you cut them right at the base because you've already knotted off by doing needle up, needle down. You just trim them right there close, and that cuts your bobbin thread. And that way, by doing that, you never have any of those unsightly knots on the back of your quilts. That's one of my pet peeves. But that's how easy it is to do ruler work. And let me just hold this up to this camera here, and so you can get a little bit better view of it. Okay. There we go. You can see that right there. That was with the insides of the rulers, and this was done with using the outside of the ruler.